Hi, everybody. It's Heather, the Expat Entrepreneur, just coming to you today. I wanted to do a final video for you. That right there is Shelby. So she was just looking so cute in her little window box there. I had to include her in the video. So she might come down for a closer look. Usually when I'm talking, she does. But I wanted to give you an update today on a couple of things. First of all, the window of opportunity for you to join the plan is shrinking fast. As I am recording this video, there's barely only over 24 hours to go. And believe me when I say, when they shut the doors, it's going to be for real this time. We had a little extension last time, which was just a blessing in disguise, but the course itself is starting on the 30th. So there's no chance for them to extend this offer. And the admin people behind the scenes, they need a chance to cross the T's and dot the I's and get everybody's NDA in place so that they know which students are good to go. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that has to happen behind the scenes before they can proceed. And that's why there's that little bit of lag time in between. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll just wait and see what happens, I really advise that you don't, because you'll end up missing out. The next time this is going to be open is going to be later this year. They were thinking maybe it's going to be November or December. Could be possibly even to next year. We don't really know for sure. But it's going to be, that will be the official launch of the program, of the plan. So far, we've been in beta, and this is beta 3 right now. So once the launch happens, the price tag is going up. We don't know for sure how much, but it will be at least $1,000 more. So this is your last chance to take that discount while it's here. And by the way, everybody who buys the plan now under beta, you are automatically going to get the complimentary access to the final version once it comes out. So that's a perk that nobody talks about, but you'll get it, which is great. So yeah, but as far as the timing goes, we are closing in, like I say, just under 20 or just over 24 hours. And then it's gonzo for this time around. So the other thing I wanted to do was to share with you an update on how my personal trading is going right now. You might recall, if you've been following any of my videos, that I had a series I was doing on a wicked good trade that I did did $6 grand in 6 days, and it carried on and on and on. And I want to give you an update on how that's doing, in addition to my whole account as a whole, so that you can see just what's happened in over this period of time that I've been involved. Because I'm like myself, I'm pretty new, along with many others, because the plan is not that old. The first beta was a little bit earlier this year in the spring. So we're all kind of newbies, which is great, because you can see the amazing results that people are getting and know that this is possible for you too, no matter how much you know already about crypto, even if it's next to nothing. So there's that. And I'm also going to finish up by sharing a few more Q&As that I've been getting lately. You guys have been hitting me up with a whole bunch of questions, and I love that. Keep them coming. Don't stop. And I want to just cover a few more of them off, because I'm thinking that there's probably some people out there like yourself, if you're listening now, who you maybe have these questions too. So let's cover them and get rid of them so that you can not wait until the midnight hour. I wanted to say, I recently, I was listening to some music, and one of my favorite songs came on, that wait till the midnight hour. And I thought, oh no, that's what people maybe are going to be doing. And I want to tell you, please don't do that. Don't wait until the midnight hour to make your decision, or to try and go on the buy page and get yourself enrolled, because you wouldn't be the first person who misses out because of a glitch or a tech issue or some issue with the credit card or the server. Like, you wouldn't believe the stories that we hear. So if you've made the decision and you want to enroll, just go and enroll. Get it done and give yourself the gift of a decision well made. The link, my enrollment link, is below in the description. And I would invite you to use that. By doing so, you're going to become part of my team, and you're going to get access to all 9 of my real value bonuses. I'm not going to run through every one of those again, because I'll list them below. And I've also done a couple other videos where I talk about them. So every one of those will be available for you. But just know that I specifically chose each one of those for the reason that I can help you to get from where you are now to get you getting up and running as quickly as possible. There are no fluffy bonuses in there. There's zero fluff. There's no, so all that's kind of cute. And every single one of them is going to help you move forward with my assistance as well. So I invite you to click on there. But let's go ahead and get started and talk about this wicked good trade. 6 grand in 6 days. Wow. And this is actually one of the bonuses I will just mention because we're talking about it anyway. The first bonus is I'm going to unpack this entire trade for you. And I'm going to share with you what the coin pairing is, what the settings are, how I found that opportunity as well, because all of that plays a vital role. And if you can see that whole thing from start to finish, it can help you when you're going forward and you're looking at coins that you want to pair up yourself. I will just say that you probably are aware that the bonus that Dan is offering to anybody who purchases the plan now is you're going to get 2 free months access to his coin pairing recommendation service. And this is awesome because in each of those 2 months, he's going to do 24 recommendations. So it will give you kind of the breathing room to continue learning and get up and running with the information without having to worry about, do I really know what I'm doing well enough to put money behind my idea of what is a good coin and what isn't. It helps people to have the confidence to move forward quicker. We do learn in the plan, Dan does teach us how to pick the coins yourself, exactly how to go through the process. And it's not difficult. In fact, it's really fun. So you will learn that for yourself. But in the meantime, it's really great to have those 2 months of free access to get us through that little hurdle. So with this particular trade and with the bonus of unpacking it for you, you'll see everything behind the scenes of how it went. But I want to tell you that it continues to do phenomenal. And let me give you the numbers first of all, and I've got my handy notes here to share with you. But right now it's sitting at a profit of $11,026. And that's for a 282% return. And that's over 30 days. 30 days and 19 hours. So it's quite amazing. And I will say too, that is also when there were 2 huge dips in the market in these last 30 days where Bitcoin lost $4,000 to $6,000 in 2 separate occasions and then bounced around, came back up, came back down. And both of those times people were saying, oh no, it's all over. What's going to happen now? All the trades are down. Nobody's making money. It's terrible. And it isn't. Because the strategy that we use, that Dan teaches us, is set up so that we make money, whether the market is going up or down or sideways. We just want it to move. So that also means that all of the news we hear and these crazy stories and, the moonshots and this is going nowhere and China banned it and now all this is going to happen here and this country here adopted it as legal tender. That was El Salvador, by the way, in June. There's so much information that's buoying it up and then pulling it down. And this is great. When you hear that, just rub your hands together and say, this is wonderful, because it means there's more volatility in the market. And that's where we're making our money. That's where we're making our daily profit on the coin pair, on the bot. So yeah, that is how that trade is doing. And I wanted to also share with you, how is my overall account going? And I will say that I do have 2 different accounts. There is the demo bots that I'm doing as well as the real bots. And I thought, why not tell both to you? Why not share both with you? So for the demo bots, which I'm hearing from a lot of other people that oftentimes the returns that we see in the demo are maybe a little bit better than the returns you see in reality. And that could be for a couple of different reasons. It could be because the trades are pretty much instantly executed because it's not really happening for real. So as soon as you put it together and you push go, it gets done like almost instantaneously. Whereas in reality, when you're doing it, there's going to be a little bit of a lag because there literally has to be some buying and selling that goes on in order for those coins to get put together in your account and the trade to go on. With that in mind, I don't know that necessarily means you're going to see a huge difference in the return that you're going to get, but it does have an effect and it does play a role. So there is that to consider. But with my demo account, I want to say that I am up. The bots come and go, right? So the timeframes are really short. The demo account, I'm going to tell you over an average of 14 days. For my real account, I'm going to share with you an average over 17 days because each one of those bots that I have going on, there's been several that have already been closed out and are done and dusted. And then you carry on and you do the next one. And that's just kind of how the nature of this goes. There's not a lot of time that I'll get into in this Q&A that you have to devote on a regular basis to this. But when you do put some time in, that's usually why, because you're looking at a bot that maybe is underperforming, or maybe it's doing okay, but you think that you can do better elsewhere, which happens. And maybe you want to close that one down in order for you to open up a new one. So there's a couple of different reasons that we might have to actually go ahead and do that and make that change. But that's why a lot of times these periods of time are really short. So with my demo bot account, there's 4 of those going right now, and they are averaging 11.85% over 14 days. And what that works out to is 0.84% per day, which is humongous. If I just will grab my calculator and I'll say 0.84% times 30 days, that would be a 25% return in 1 month. And if you times that out over a year and annualize it, it's crazy numbers. It's crazy numbers, over 300%, which is like amazing. Anyway, that's where the demo account sits. With the real money bots that I have going, I also have 4 of those, because I'm leaving that 5th position open, because that's one of my bonuses. I want to unfold it, unpack it in front of you guys so that you can see a bot being constructed before your very eyes, and it will be for real money, live, not a demo bot. That space I'm leaving open for us to do together. So right now with my real bots, I have 4 of them going, and those ones are averaging 9.39% return, which is also great because it's over 17 days, and that gives me a 0.55% return daily. And when you average that out over the months and years, it becomes, well, let me just tell you exactly, because I didn't write that down, times 365, that's a 200% return over the course of a year. But what I did figure out and did crunch the numbers on already for you is, if you were getting 0.5% on these bots, which is these 4 bots are a value of $12,000, right? Because we need $3,000 per bot to follow Dan's strategy. So if I'm earning 0.55% return on $12,000 over the course of 30 days, well, daily, let's just start with that. What I'm making every day is $66. $66 every day I'm making for putting that particular coin pair together and pushing go, and then just watching it occasionally, checking it out on the computer in the morning when I get up. There's nothing to do. I'm making $66 a day for doing nothing. What does that work out to per month? It's just shy of $2,000 a month, you guys, off a $12,000 capital investment on a very modest, conservative rate of return of 0.55%. Over the course of a year, that's just shy of $24,000 in a year that you can make on that. And this is a perfect example of the portfolio effect. Because a lot of people are asking me, well, if I've got X amount, should I do 1 bot or 2? Or is it okay if I just start with 1? Or if I can do more, should I do more? Do however many you can. If you can get started with between 3 and 5, then that would be what I think would be a great place to start. If you can only start with 1, that's a great place to start too. We've all got to start somewhere. But as you are able to get more and more bots going, what it does is it diversifies, and you're going to have, out of these 4 bots, the return on each one of them is vastly different. One of them is nearly 20%, another one is about 3%. And that's how they average each other out. When you take the 4 and you make the average of the 4 of them, you're always going to have a higher return than you would if you just had 1, because you've got everything banked on that 1. So this is the reason why it's so effective to utilize that portfolio effect and have that little bit of extra diversification, right? And if you can do more than that, and you're prepared to, it's not, a stretch on your investment portfolio and whatnot, it's something to consider. And by the way, I completely neglected to say at the beginning of this video, I am not a financial advisor or planner or expert of any kind. I'm not licensed or certified to give investment advice or tax advice. I'm just somebody on the internet talking about my own experience and what I've seen and what I know about this program that I've personally gone through, that I'm actually utilizing, and that I'm a raving fan of. So please do not misconstrue any of this as financial advice, because it is not. And neither is the plan, for that matter, as well. So as you're considering and looking at what amount to put in and what will work for you, I do have several clients who were in a position they were only able to start out with 1 bot. And what ended up happening is they let the profit, the earnings grow and grow and grow until they were enough to fund a second bot. And for some of them, that happened within 2 months, that means that was $3,000 that was earned. within that short period of time on $3,000. Like, this is the possibility, you guys. It is so much more realistic and phenomenal than what you could get for sure in any bank account or in the centralized financial market these days, because it's so heavily weighted in the fees and the commissions and everything everybody else has got to earn. That's part of the reason why cryptocurrency, the market, is so attractive. So yeah, keep that in mind. But I am thrilled with the return that I've seen so far. With just 4 bots on, the way that they're panning out right now, it's looking like I can quite comfortably and quite easily make $2,000 a month off of the $12,000 investment that I put in. And like I say, soon I'll have the 5th one going, that's sitting in there waiting for us to get together and have that powwow. So I'm excited about that as well. And yeah, this can be a reality for you as well, even if it's something that you have to work up to. And just incidentally, a little note on in terms of how much money to put in and that kind of thing. You know, the experts and the people who are advisors usually say when you're diversifying your investment portfolio that you should look to do somewhere between 2 and 3% would be the amount that most people would recommend to put into something like this. So 2 or 3% of your entire investment portfolio. Of course, it's entirely up to you what you do, but the one piece of advice you should really, really stick to is definitely do not invest more in the cryptocurrency market than you can afford to lose. Don't bet your rent money or your mortgage money or any money that is going to affect your quality of life and your lifestyle, because that not only could make, it could go sideways. You never know. This is a really low risk strategy that we're using. And if you stick to the plan, losses are drastically reduced, if not eliminated entirely. But if you're betting with money that you need in 6 weeks from now, you're going to make different decisions than you would if it's just money that you're investing for the purpose of what you're hoping to grow it to or get off of it down the road. So that's really, really important to stick to your guns on that one for sure. So on that note, let me carry on and go through the questions that I've been getting. And hopefully there's a few here that are going to be answered for you as well, because there's quite a few. I've been being asked by people, why is the price going to be going up? Because you may have heard from me or from other people who are promoting the plan as well, that this is the last time it's going to be offered for $2,500. And it is. This is the beta pricing, and it's the same price that I paid when I joined back in June. And it's the same price for beta 1, 2, and now for 3. And it will be going up. And the reason that we basically got a discount ahead of time for buying the unfinished, unpolished version of the program. So it's not so much that the price is going up, it's going to just go to its proper level. We've been enjoying a discount to this point. So when the next time the doors open and the official program is launched, it's going to be a big launch, you guys. Like, I've heard some just some little snippets here and there of the kind of things they got planned and what's going to be happening when they're doing this. And believe me, you are going to notice it no matter where in the world you're living. You're going to see this and you're going to go, oh, I had the chance to get in. Just like you might be saying the same thing about Bitcoin. I had the chance to get in when it was 900 or 3,000 or 5,000 or whatever. It's the same thing with the plan right now. And by the way, I know a handful of people personally, and I also including myself, who made the course fee back within the first few weeks. For me, it was 10 days. So that's a really good indication too of the power of it. And once you get your money going and you get it working in there, it's the passive income that it's generating for you is growing constantly. And I'll just explain quickly how that works before I move to the next question, just in case you're newer and you haven't seen a whole bunch of the training yet. But basically, what's happening is you've got this coin pair. One is a stable coin, one is call it a wild card. It's a different coin, and the market is made between the two coins. This is what you're playing in. This is your arena. There's a grid that these coins will trade on that we set up based on Dan's parameters, and they will wiggle around. And as they do, it's all automated with a bot. That's what we call it. It's a bot. and it's all automated. That's why it's referred to as a set and forget system, where it's already pre-programmed to sell at a certain price, and then to buy at a certain price, and then to sell when it goes whichever way it's going. It's all built in, so you don't have to think about it. You don't have to go, oh, but I love the name of this one, and I don't really want to sell it yet. I just want to hold on and see if it goes somewhere. There's none of that emotion involved. It's all done for you by a program, by AI. I like to call it like your AI army goes out and executes these instructions. And what happens is every time there's a sell, there's a profit coming off of that, because it's programmed. It would not sell if it wasn't for a profit. So every single red dot you see on these bot charts is profit, is money in your pocket. And that goes straight into your exchange account and builds. And the money you see in your exchange account is after the fees come off too, because the exchange takes their fee immediately, and then they give you the rest immediately. And the fees are pretty much they seem to be pretty competitive amongst most exchanges. You can look into that later down the road, but because that's a cost of doing business, right? It's not going to change whether you like it or not or whatever. It's there, but the fees are substantially less than what we pay in the centralized system of our financial markets for whatever kind of investment it is, whether it's mutual funds or other instruments. The fees are just astronomical in comparison. So when the bot makes those sales and that income, that profit goes into your exchange account, that's happening multiple times a day. It's tiny. Maybe it's 30 cents or 89 cents or $1.20, but it's happening sometimes even hundreds of times a day. And that's what adds up. And that's one of the two ways that we make money off of a bot. And so that's, in my opinion, the best one. I love that one. I call that I'll get to it. I call it the bread and butter trades, but the bread and butter income. But the second way that we can earn money off of the bots is, remember those two coins that we paired up together? If one of those coins goes up in value from when you bought to when you sell to when you close the bot down, then you're going to make a capital gain. And the reverse is also true. If one of those bots goes down in value from when you bought and you close the bot down, you will take a loss that would be offset against the profits that you have been receiving up to that point off of the bot. So if you think of it, one of the analogies that's used a lot is real estate, is a property, a rental property. You've got the property, which is the asset, right? And let's just say it's worth 50 grand. And you've got a renter in there that, let's just say they're paying $1,000 a month for it. So if the real estate market goes down and suddenly your property is worth 40 grand instead of 50, it doesn't matter, because your renter is still paying your monthly rent. And as long as you don't need to sell, the value of the property is irrelevant in that regard. And the same is true if the value of the property went up. If it went up to 60 and you think you've got 10 grand in equity, I mean, theoretically you do, but it doesn't mean anything until you sell, because that's when we realize gains and that's when we realize losses. And it's exactly the same with these bots. If you've got coins in there, like Bitcoin, let's say you've got some BTC in there, it wiggles around like crazy. And if those predictions are right now we're looking at about $42,000 Bitcoin. If those predictions are right, that by December it's supposed to be 130,000, then everybody who's got a coin that's Bitcoin now, and that goes up, if you decided to close that trade, you would have a humongous capital gain that you would experience, which could be wonderful. And is something, obviously you've got to report it on your taxes, and you've got to report your transactions as well. And there's one of my bonuses covers that off, where there's a really easy way for you to do that so that you don't have to be concerned and wonder, how am I going to keep track of all of this? I got it covered for you. Anyway, those are the two ways that you're earning money off of a bot. And I kind of digressed a bit in terms of why is the price where it is. The plan itself will be going up once they do that full launch of the official program. So let's see. Now, somebody else asked me, can I binge watch the training? How does that work? And you can, but not immediately. And what I mean by that is the training is going to be 6 modules. There could be a seventh. We don't know yet. There have been so far, but we'll see. So those 6 modules are delivered live by Dan on Thursdays at noon Pacific. So each week for 6 weeks, he's going to deliver one of those modules. And as soon as it's done and the video is rendered, then it's going to be showing up in your members area, and you will have that access to that recording, lifetime access. So each one of those are going to build and be in there. So down the road, you could binge watch it, but I would strongly recommend that you watch them live if you can. And if not, block the time off weekly. Say, okay, fine. Every Saturday morning at 10 a.m., I'm going to watch the previous day's session. And I'm just going to do that for these 6 weeks so that I stay up to date and I follow the training and I keep up. This is a really good system that you could use for yourself, and it works. So yeah, that's what you can do as far as binge watching. Down the road you can. For now, let's just keep up on the weekly, because in between each session too, there's things that you're going to want to do to keep in the flow of the training that's happening at any given time. People ask me all the time, what is the average return I can expect, Heather? If I'm going to put in $3,000, what's the return I can get? And my answer is usually, how long is a piece of string? Because we don't know. And we certainly can't make any promises for you or you know, imply that it's going to be this or that. I mean, what I said to you earlier about the numbers, when I'm looking at, you know, about 0.5% a day seems to be a number that a lot of people are getting. That's about as close to a prediction that can be offered. And at the same time, as I say that, it's important to note that past performance is not an indication of future results either. In the end, this whole thing is not guaranteed. Crypto markets are considered high risk. If you invest, you could lose money. All of that is true. But at the same time, it's also got a tremendously low risk investment strategy that we're using and wrapping around this whole thing, and a very high potential for reward. And at the same time, the other point that is really important to note is that it's got such a low amount of time that is required. And that's one of the other questions I get asked too, is how long does it take? So let me break it down. With the course itself, that is the equivalent of about maybe 12 to 15 hours max that you would need to go through each one of those sessions. They're usually about an hour and a half-ish, somewhere in that range. So the amount of time that you're going to want to spend on that afterward, you know, figuring things out and looking, you know, test running some of these ideas, that's a fair estimate in terms of how much time you'll need, and which is the equivalent of a weekend, right? It's not a lot of time. There's also a section in the online portal that is a Q&A section that's called Answer Desk, I think it is, where there's going to be 4 or 5 sessions there where experts in the plan, people who are in the plan with Dan, working with Dan, and utilizing the strategy, are answering all of our questions. And those are pre-submitted, and they just have a conversation back and forth and answer them. And this is an excellent thing to be part of and listen to, because when you hear other people who are at the same level as you are ask questions, they might be a nanosecond ahead of you, or just in a slightly different place, and you'll hear questions that you have and you don't even know you have yet. So it's a tremendous help to listen in on that. Yeah, as far as how long it takes, that's the training. The time it'll take you to put a bot together. Maybe the first time you do it, it might take you 15 or 20 minutes, maybe longer if you really like to dig in and do a bunch of research, but that's optional. You don't have to. After you get up and running and you know the system, this can take as little as 10 minutes to construct a bot and do that. And once you have your bot or bots up and running, this is where it comes down to literally minutes a day or less than an hour a week to maintain this. So these numbers I'm giving you, where I'm looking at $2,000 a month off of my $12,000 investment, because I'm earning 0.5% a day that's compounded every day, that $2,000 a month, I'm not doing anything. I've just got that working in the background, and now I'm carrying on living my life doing whatever it is I'm always out doing. So that's the beauty of it too. Yeah, so that's pretty much how much the time is going to take. I've also been asked about the NDA and how long it takes to get it and what happens after you've signed it. So once you purchase the plan, you will receive within 24 hours, you'll receive, and it's probably going to be quicker now because we're getting down to the wire, you'll receive from Dan an onboarding email and the actual NDA for yourself to read through, sign, and return to Rapid Crush. If you do not return it, if you do not sign and return it by the 30th, they're going to automatically refund you and you will not be part of the plan. And that's just their built-in I can't say that word right now. That's their built-in system so that you, everybody who is in the program has 100% signed the NDA, and we can all speak freely amongst ourselves, right? Which is great. Whereas out here in YouTube, there are many things I can't say because I would be breaking my NDA agreement that I've already signed to. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why the private Facebook groups, like that's one of the bonuses included if you enroll with me, are so popular and so valuable because we can openly talk about strategies and numbers and all of it. Coin pairings, you name it. So the next question is, yeah, I've answered that before. Why $3,000? So, and how much money is it total? So you know that the plan costs $2,500 today. A couple of months from now, when it's the official version, it's probably going to be at least 3,500. I've even heard Jason say personally, it might actually be 5,000. They don't know yet. It could be double, but it will be more. That's all we know for sure. So you've got that. In addition to the 2,500 for the plan, you've also got a monthly charge of $44 per month for the platform fee, the monthly subscription to the platform that we use, which is Bitsgap, to construct the trades. Now, Bitsgap is just an interface. It's not an exchange. Your money is never with them. Your money will always be in your exchange that you set up in your name and be under your control. And in the onboarding document that Dan sends out, there are several vetted exchanges that he lists there for us in many different countries that are good to go with. So those will be accessible to you. And so for the actual investment amount and for the bot, each bot, it's recommended that you have $3,000, and we're talking US dollars for all these numbers, by the way, $3,000 per bot. And the reason why is because the way that these trades work with these bots, when you have these two coins put together, they trade against themselves in a range, in a grid, right? So they're moving around like this in this grid, which is basically your price bands of top and bottom price bands. So these things are moving around. Sometimes they pop out of the grid, sometimes they pop down below the grid, and then they go back in and continue channeling. And it's all this movement inside the grid that's spinning off these profits that are going into your exchange account, into your balance. That is your residual passive income that's being generated every single day, just like clockwork. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, there's some more. It's amazing when you experience it. Wow, it's awesome. So that's how that works. And the reason why we have the $3,000 is because we need to have 100 grid lines in order for this to work properly. And each one of those grid lines represents $30. And that's why you need $3,000 per bot to do it. Dan has tested it backwards and forward. And this is the sweet spot. This is the one of those settings that he's had to disclose that probably would have been under NDA before, but people need to know why 3,000. And so that's why people are able to know the rationale behind it before you've actually joined and gotten on board. But this is the reason why. And anything less than that, you just do not get the full effect of the system, of the strategy. So this is one of those things that we have to trust. That Dan, when he spent these 3 years and he blew through that $5 million testing backwards and forwards and figuring out and trying to determine and all these different scenarios and solutions, that's where he came up with these magic numbers. And in the end, that's really what we're paying him for. That's really what we're investing in. It's a training program, the plan, it's a training program, but it's not an investment. You still have to go and open your own exchange account, and you still have to actually manage your capital and create these bots and put those on and make those trades happen. Nobody is going to do that for you. And that is also why it gives you the comfort in knowing this is not a scam. The scams that are out there are people who are wanting to take your money from you and say, oh, I'll go invest that for you. No problem. I got a big line of people who've already done the same. And that's, one of those pyramid things. And there's lawsuits going on out there, and it's nasty. And I feel so badly for the people who got conned into those. And it's terrible. But this is not one of those. It's you are going to be controlling your entire investment capital at all times. The only thing the plan is a training program, right? It just happens to be on crypto trading. Just like a training program that you may have bought in the past. Maybe it's going to teach you how to grow bonsais. I don't know. So that kind of puts it in perspective a little bit. And also it should answer the question why it's $3,000. So you can put a little bit more than that into a bot. I think Dan sometimes says you can go somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 per bot if you want to. But I think most of us would rather get another bot on at the early stages anyway. So that's basically how that works. And so another question is, what if I only have $2,500? What if I can only afford the actual price of the course to get in? Should I do that now or should I wait? And in my humble opinion, I say you should do it now, because you're not only going to be saving that $1,000, the minimum price that's going to be going up later, but it's also going to give you the ability to start learning and for you to be able to know and go through, because you can have your Bitscap account in demo mode and you can go through and learn how to apply all the things that you're learning from the plan, from the program itself in real life, in real in trades, real bot pairings that are real bots that are happening. So that will give you a huge advantage, so that when you do get to the point where you've saved that money, you're able to just go and hit the ground running. And there's also a really cool strategy in the plan that Dan teaches too. If you want to, if you need to save the money, he's got a system that you can use, that you can utilize, that will enable you to save it way quicker than any way you would save it out in the traditional world. So that's another good reason too, to just go ahead and get on board. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is that there have been a few people who've asked me about PayPal, and maybe you can't access it, or the country that you're in doesn't work so well with that, or maybe you just don't have a PayPal account and you want to pay a different way. You can do that. And what you have to do is you basically will, hit the link, pick your option. Am I going to take the $2,500 one-time pay, or am I going to do the 3 times $1,000 payment plan, and proceed? And from there, you'll go to a next screen where PayPal is asking you, they might ask you there to log in or to enter your email address and your actual billing address. If that's where it's at, fill it in and pretend like you have an account. When you get to the next page, at some point you're gonna get the option that says proceed as a guest, or proceed using a credit card or credit or debit card. It's a little hard to find because PayPal wants you to use PayPal. So they make that option way more noticeable. But it's usually right around the time where you would sign up, or where you would sign in to your account. And if you're on that page to sign in and you look around, there's going to be another option where you can go forward as a guest. And in that case, that's where you get to the next screen, where it enables you to use a credit card or a debit card to go ahead and make the payment. So if you need help with that though, just reach out. I can give you a hand as well. And you know that you can always reach me on heather@legitebiz.com. I've mentioned that I've had a little bit of trouble with my business email, and I think I figured out why. I didn't know you can't put an email in the comments. And I've been putting my email everywhere so that I can let people know to reach out to me and give me your questions. So I seem to be getting the emails fine, but it's the replying that's not going well. So I've got a workaround for that I figured out. But reach out to me in any event if you do have questions about that, or anything else for that matter, because like I say, we're down to the wire. And by this time tomorrow, you are really not going to have very much time at all. And I just want to, again, encourage you, if you've come this far and you've seen the webinar and you're still interested and there's still any questions that are holding you back, then ask them. Just reach out and ask the question and get the answer that you need, and put yourself out of this misery. I know what that teeter-totter is like. Should I, shouldn't I? What's it going to be? And it's just not a good place to be. It's not a good place to be. So I'd like to invite you to come on down and join the plan. Use my link, get my bonuses. They are the best bonuses going. They really are. I'm not just saying that. I'm actually quite a humble person. I know I wouldn't say that if if I really didn't truly believe it, and I do. I've never seen another bonus package being offered that even comes close to what I'm offering. So if you want to get the VIP treatment and let me roll out the red carpet for you, which I would be thrilled to do, I would love to welcome you into my merry band of crypto traders, because that's who we are. And yeah, we're going to kill it, you guys. We're going to do great. So thank you again for tuning in as well. I wish you all the best in all of your endeavors, whether you go forward with this or not. But yeah, if you do have any questions, reach out. And on that note, I will say, I'll just double check here. I have answered everything. Yes, I have. Thank you again. And I sincerely hope to see you in there, a smiling face in my group. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye. And don't wait till the midnight hour. Bye.